Cool.
So he's not being recorded on this one. So ask the question. This is just going over it as friends.
And you can edit that part, so it can just jump around, show me different angles. This angle, that angle, this angle.
What should I ask? What's a good way to phrase it?
What? Just simply ask.
You can ask. It doesn't matter who the list is.
Okay. So, Red Dawn's been around for 20 years now. Take me to the beginning. How did it get started?
How to get started? Well, the beginning. That was something else.
Go for it.
Potatoes!
What are we talking about?
Oh my gosh. That's the thing, man. Okay, so they did, Cole said vodka. And I was just over here like, dude, fries, French fries, crinkle cut fries, curly fries. For starters, that's where I should have started with this. There's mashed potatoes, there's baked potato, there's sweet potato. You made a sweet potato pie? You're f***ing welcome, okay? Yeah, that happened. Now there is mashed potato chips. I mean, are we not gonna talk about potato chips for a couple seconds?
Corn on the cob too.
Corn on the cob. Oh, got me. Back in the old days, they used to heat up potatoes and put them underneath people's blankets.
Yeah, and then they would grow into corn on the cob.
Boom.
Years. That's 240 months, or 1,040 weeks, or 7,304.85 days. Sometimes it's difficult to truly wrap your head around a number like that. There's a natural tendency to perceive time to be shrinking as you age, but simultaneously, our million-mile-a-minute news cycle has begun to act as an equal but opposite force, causing the days that pass to seem ever longer. The years go by like minutes, but the days stretch out like years. To put it in perspective, here's a glimpse of what the world was like back when this all began. 20 years ago, this guy hadn't even started college yet, let alone launch his world-changing digital platform. MySpace still hadn't even been launched. The closest we had to social media were message boards and online journals kept by sun-starved hipsters with shaggy hair and painted-on jeans. This guy was the newly elected president. Meanwhile, this guy, he was just a state senator who had just lost a primary bid for an Illinois congressional seat. For most people, Starbucks was just the coffee brand sold at the Barnes & Noble cafe. TVs still looked like this. And all the cool kids dressed like this. Okay, to be honest, I don't remember anyone dressing like that in 2001. But that's what I got when I typed emo in the stock photo site search bar, so that's what we're going with. But most importantly, at least for our purposes, Jeremy Nichols, our founder, CEO, and resident mad genius of high-octane dietary ingredients, opened his first kiosk in the Georgia Perimeter Mall with the vision of creating a supplement that could aid the mind as much as the body. Unbeknownst to him at the time, that one kiosk would be the seedling for what has now become a cutting-edge national brand with a devoted following made up of the most amazing fans anyone could ask for. This was the core conviction on which Red Dawn was founded, a simple fact that modern science is only beginning to confirm, but holistic medicine has been proclaiming for centuries. Mind and body are connected. Before we showed up, the supplement market was fixated solely on the body. It was fat burners, muscle builders, and more fat burners. Only half the equation. The body is important, but without the mind, you're just a sack of flesh, no matter how chiseled your abs. It's this gaping hole in the market that has allowed us to thrive and grow from a single mall kiosk opened in 2001 to the national multi-warehouse operation we are today. But the story of Red Dawn didn't begin in a suburban shopping mall.
It began with me.
Jeremy was born with a rare congenital disorder that doctors were convinced would dictate the entire outcome of his life. In a sense, they were right, though not in the way they expected.
I was born with what you call hydrocephalus. Basically had fluids in my head that was crushing my brain. And so they had to put a pump in my head right here, going down my neck. I have 2 pumps in the back of my head, and this tube drains in my abdomen.
Throughout his childhood, he was told what he couldn't do.
I was not allowed to do wrestling, was not allowed to play football, was not allowed to do squat. I had to beg my mom to let me do track in 7th grade, which I did pretty decent at.
He'd never be normal, they told him. He'd never have the mental capacity of his peers. He'd never compete in sports. He'd never have a family. He'd probably never live to see adulthood. One thing about Jeremy, he doesn't like being told what he can and can't do. At a very young age, he decided that his destiny was his alone. No one was going to dictate his limitations, no matter the letters behind their name or how pristine their lab coat. He began pushing himself, both physically and mentally, daily stretching the boundaries of his limitations and reaching beyond. In the process, he became obsessed with nutrition and the effect it had on the mind and body. Years before the nootropic craze was even a thought, he began developing his own regimen of supplements that would provide the energy and mental clarity to get him through each day a little more successful than the day before. By the time Red Dawn began in earnest, product development was as simple as packing a capsule. There was no significant R&D process to undertake because he had already been tackling that aspect for 10 years prior. It was off to the races. It wasn't just energy that interested him, it was synergy.
To me, it made sense. At the time, energy shots were starting to boom. Everybody's energy. What about focus? Thought about mood. To my recollection, until Red Dawn, nobody sold anything that had to do with mood and focus.
The vast majority of the ingredients he used may have shown up in hundreds of health products before, but he was using them in new ways, combining them to enhance and empower one another to the point where the sum became greater than the whole. He wanted a big picture solution, products that would bring a competitive edge to the mind and body. He got what he wanted, knowing it would work because it had already worked for him.
The first time that I tried Sleepwalker, I'm a music producer, and I had 3 different projects that I had just kind of gotten swamped with, and they would just been sitting on my computer for like 2 or 3 weeks. I had a Saturday off, and I decided to take a Sleepwalker shot in the morning, and by the end of the day, I had the 3 songs completely finished, and I added so many different parts to them that I don't think I would have had the focus and ambition to go ahead and sit down and really work on those projects without it. It was a really, really cool little experience that gave me the extra push that I needed to get that art out there to the world.
Sleepwalker did all the above. It gave you energy, but also had you relaxed, laid back, focused, and in a good mood all at the same time. And that's why I called it Sleepwalker, because it made sense to me.
At the time, the reasoning seemed solid enough. The stuff made the workday feel like a daydream come true. Hell, that's still on the package. It gave you that level of focus that made you want to say things like, I could do this in my sleep, and really mean it. Sleepwalker seemed like the perfect name. The truth is, though, when the capsules were first released, they were a total disaster.
And so I started calling stores up saying, hey, we have a new hot product called Sleepwalker, and instantly, we don't sell sleep aids here. I'm like, it's not for sleep. Well, why do you call it Sleepwalker then?
I don't know. Maybe because it helps you live the dream?
We're like, so what does it do? How do you explain to somebody? Well, you're relaxed. At the same time, you're energized. Up and down. We'll call it Sleepwalker. Clearly, none of us have marketing majors. It was an utter failure times like 20.
That about sunk the company right there, because I spent my last bit of everything on Sleepwalker. I cashed in my retirement money for Sleepwalker and almost went completely belly up. After about a year, name started catching on. It grew and grew and grew, and it wasn't until 2016 when we launched the Sleepwalker shot, that was when our sales went through the roof. We doubled that year. Then 2017, we grew by an extra 22%. And then 2018, we spiked again and had an increase of 38% in sales.
But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. We can't exactly tell the story of Red Dawn without paying sufficient attention to the flagship product. Compared to the OG status of the Red Dawn Liquid, Sleepwalker's practically a noob.
Liquid works faster in the body, so we did the Red Dawn Liquid. The awesome thing about it, you only needed half an ounce. So this little 8-ounce bottle right here has 16 servings.
A very unique product. Most of these energy drinks, they focus more on the heart, and they put 15 different ingredients into your heart. When your heart's not asleep, it's your brain that's the problem. So our ingredients focus more on the brain than the heart, and with less stress, less anxiety, you pretty much have a better day.
Sometimes it's easy to forget that while Sleepwalker and the Liquid have definitely been the most popular items Red Dawn has put out, they aren't even close to the only ones. Nor has energy been the only targeted experience. In reality, the big picture has been on life enhancement. Better living through dietary engineering, if you will.
We've had Happy Caps, which was Spark 4D, which is a play off of another product we had, which was Spark at the time.
If you've not tried these Happy Caps, they are so good. I love them. Happy.
We've had Xanax, we've had Zany bars, which were just Blue Lotus. Man, we had Activator, which is like a caffeine powder, and GABA. We had GABA as well. Slowtivate, which is like motivated but slow. And then we had Wowny, which is a relaxation brownie. We were the first ones to do that. We had a product called SOS. Pour the drink into the powder and you shake it up and shoot it.
But ultimately, it was Sleepwalker and the Red Dawn Liquid that paved the road to success.
We set groundbreaking records in sales for 2018 that we thought would never be attained again. We're reaching these esoteric, elusive, amazing numbers that didn't even seem to be attainable. And we're getting into some of the biggest retail chain stores that we've been dreaming about for the longest time.
We were in over 20,000 convenience stores, smoke shops, nutrition stores, online nutrition stores, you name it. We're everywhere that you can imagine now.
Going into 2019 was definitely like a ride the wave mentality. It was like, this is cool, we're doing something right. Does anybody know what they're doing? Nope. Is everybody on board, full speed all the way, all of it or none of it? Yep, you got us.
Declaring phenibut in your products, labeling as a dietary ingredient, causes your products to be misbranded under Section 403A1.
We got sucker punched in the back from the FDA. Everyone's beloved products and favorite ingredients couldn't be used.
We were very close with Sleepwalker, but like I said, I think there was companies out there that seen us as a threat. We were number 13 best-selling product in all the convenience stores, and we were the number 1 fastest growing product in all the convenience stores. Red Dawn tried to break all boundaries of supplements, and eventually some companies seen us as too competitive, and I think they went after our main ingredients and they tried to take us out of the game.
Does it tarnish our reputation? I'm sure to some people it does. When you Google our name, not everything that comes up is positive. We're aware of that. But there's always going to be haters in the world. Not everybody will like us. Some people will not like the products that we produce, and that's fine. We're not for everybody. We're for the people that need it and want it and think that, hey, this is going to make my day better, so I'm going to take it. We weren't built by some amazing corporation with big money backing. We were built by retail customers that love us, that understand. So as long as we come back with them and do what's right, they're going to understand because they're family.
As of this morning, March 13th, CDC is reporting more than 1,500 cases of COVID-19.
Well, it's something that we totally expected. When you have an outbreak in a country as big as China with as many people as China, and you have the degree of travel between the United States and China.
Johnson County's Board of Commissioners on Saturday, March 21st, issued a 30-day emergency stay-at-home declaration.
We declared a public health emergency, and taking early, intense action, we have seen dramatically fewer cases of the virus in the United States than are now present in Europe.
It was 2020.
It was already a tough situation. I'm dealing with, we were dealing with stuff at home with the pandemic and the coronavirus and everything that was going on at the time. On top of that, you gotta imagine this is a product that people loved and were taking for coming up on 2 decades. It was 20 years. So trying to recreate that magic at the same time, all this was going on. We couldn't get bottles, we couldn't get this, we couldn't get that. This wasn't working. This new ingredient we're trying wasn't coming in. Remember trying to get a haircut in the beginning of the pandemic?
Yeah.
We're launching a product in the middle of the pandemic. See kind of where I'm coming? Now, not only are you launching a product, you're trying to recreate a magical product on a national scale. When you can't get anything into the country, you can't find anything, you can't find any bottles. It's kind of where we were coming from.
Yeah.
It was like imagine trying to pick up a bean burrito when you're riding a bike with your feet. It's just like, what am I doing here? This doesn't make sense, and it's hard, and I don't even know.
We get lots of hate mail now, lots of complaints here and there. Bring the original Sleepwalker back, bring the original Red Dawn back. I completely understand where those people are coming from.
People are getting really pissed off. We had customers calling us up saying, what's the issue? Why is this on hold? And the thing is I didn't blame them, because if I was in their shoes, I'd have been pretty pissed off too. I was getting mad at toilet paper companies, and they probably know what they're doing.
This isn't the first bump in the road, nor is it even the most daunting. We've endured setbacks before, and never once was it anything more than motivation to push forward with even more tenacity. This round is no different. Red Dawn was never about one ingredient. It's always been about finding those ingredients that work and maximizing their benefits through carefully calculated formulation. It's been about innovation and experimentation, about pushing the boundaries of the dietary frontier and discovering amazing new possibilities along the way. It's been about equipping our incredible customers to be the best possible versions of themselves, to live out the best possible versions of their lives. It's about empowerment, better living through dietary engineering. The ingredients may change, but our resolve remains the same. As long as there is a market in which to operate, we will continue to do what we do, taking the risks necessary to put you first.
Guess what, guys? Data trials have been going amazing on the Red Dawn shots. Please cut that out. But on a serious note, we have been working on the Red Dawn shot for a while now, and it is fire. I can't tell you how many headaches I woke up with. When we want to launch a product, the very first thing we do is we take it. So, dude, I've woken up with headaches, hangovers, you name it. But this one, it doesn't have any of that. It doesn't have the jitters, it doesn't have the crash. It has the energy side of things, it has the mood side of things. It seems like a winner. And we're getting positive feedback from our Red Dawn shot customers. It's uplifting, it's gonna boost your mood, put a pep to your step. It's really nice, honestly. We got Simply Energy going, we got Alert and Energize, we got the Red Dawn Extra Mile pill, which is a great workout pill. It's fire. And then I know Jeremy's got a couple other tricks up his sleeve. We got the Red Dawn Black label. I'm sure you've seen it on our social media. But yeah, it's going well.
We haven't even touched the tip of the iceberg on where this company is going to be going. I need to thank our fans. The bottom line is we could not have done it without you. Luckily, we had people who liked Red Dawn. Maybe it's because we're real. We're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. And without our customers, we could not have done it. So I want to end this by saying thank you, very much. Anybody who sees a Red Dawn or a Sleepwalker product on the shelf, whatever it may be, and they have it rung up, whether it be a $2 product or a $40 product, thank you. Thank you very much.
And if they're not, and if you're watching and you don't like it, don't give us good feedback. Don't spare my emotions.